This content is sponsored by HBC Solar PV Tech and Automaton Electronics and Security. 1 Productions presents Living off the Grid in the City.
Welcome to my latest and most definitive writing and podcast on the vast topic of sustainable living. This most exciting, empowering, and liberating podcast is based on my book, Living off the Grid in the City. Here, throughout 3 books of various sections each, I will expand on various topics dealing with this broad subject. Over the years, I believe I have gradually uncovered a great realization. One that I want to share with you. This realization is that we are living within a series of grids, or webs, that are harming us, and we have almost lost our ability to see it, or get out of it. But, through a series of developments in my life, I have begun to detangle from it, partly by living sustainably. Sustainable living has been a subject of intense interest to me for many deeply held beliefs and unique experiences. First, I believe it brings the potential to put us in a course of avoidance and recovery from the dire effects of climate change. Second, it has the potential to correct many wrongs, like the abuse, discrimination and unfairness of many aspects of our society. And, third, it may unlock human technical and social potential that we have seldom considered.
I became interested in this subject in 2009, during the Great U.S. financial recession. At this time, I finally accepted the truth about the cruelty of our monetary system and its individual supporters, corporations, and the government. And, after realizing how most of the commercial and governmental entities that we deal with in our lives often manipulate our actions as if we were pieces on a board game, I have discovered that living off the grid allows one to become awake and refuse to play a game in which you were placed without your consent.
I have organized this content in 3 books. In Book 1, I introduce important defining terms and statements. There, I define what I mean by terms like grid, middle people, various alternative or renewable energies, climate-related terms, statistical terms, as well as some assumptions and disclaimers. Then, I move on to the rationales for living off the grid. There, many of the important advantages of living off the grid are discussed. Important reasons discussed include the planetary climate crisis, personal cost savings, social justice, conflict prevention, and disaster preparedness. There, I hope to solidify the reader's beliefs about the clear and important reasons why living off the grid is necessary as an individual undertaking. Because of these important reasons, I believe living sustainably will spread and evolve into a community undertaking and beyond, hopefully sooner than later. Also, I painstakingly express my feelings and views on many of what I perceive to be abuses of the grid. I, beyond reasonable recourse, show you how the grid is a system that, although began with noble aims, has largely decayed into a system of abuse, detriment, and damage to society. Excessively high costs of water, food, and energy, all of which come laden with rash fees and brazenly high taxes, are among the reasons the grid must go. And, I will introduce to you how the grid was actually pushed upon you, often through coercion, and with many incentives devised to keep you tied to it. For example, most of us are given little choice but to connect to and pay for water, food, energy, and communications, all at very high cost. Throughout, while exposing the ills of the grid, I too share the advantages of taking the drastic but necessary steps to leave it. I demonstrate how leaving the grid will unlock personal and community potentials that are seldom considered. Finally, I dispel doubts and fears of what leaving the grid may do to modern society were it to take hold. And, I engage in a thought experiment on how an off-grid society may be like.
In Book 2, I will briefly discuss many of the barriers to get off the grid. I do this as a preparation for the realities and difficulties you may face as a would-be off-gridder. Here, without qualms, I explore the several resisting forces against the off-grid lifestyle, like family, friends, neighbors, governments, and society.
Finally, Book 3 will dive into the technical aspects of an off-grid and sustainable lifestyle. There, the methods, technologies, and designs will be introduced and thoroughly discussed as empowering tools for the would-be or the current off-gridder. This book will be especially exciting, as you will be exposed to the many ideas and technologies, ancient and cutting-edge, that may enable you to detangle from the grid and break free. So, living off the grid is the means to a goal of greater economic, social, and personal freedom.
So, in this effort, it is my hope to inform, encourage, and demonstrate the off-grid lifestyle and its benefits, excitement, and power. The benefits to you as a person, to your community, and frankly, the planet. The excitement for it to provide self-sustainability, ever-growing efficiency, ballooning personal development, and unprecedented technical advance. And the power for it to undo the many personal, social, and financial harms brought to us by our current for-profit and against the poor economic system. By Hector Vladimir.
August 2023. Georgia, USA. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please look for the next episode. And please ensure you like this content and subscribe as a sign of support and for me to continue to provide this type of content to people like you. If you'd like to support this content further, please visit the links provided with this publication. Thank you.
leyendas